Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Breakthrough with Jeff. This is the place where we live life of zero limits. And today I am joined by a friend of mine who is also a coach, and I would like him to introduce himself. So after that, we can go right into the subject for this session. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Jeff, and a big jumbo to all of us who managed to join us today. My name is Kennon Mwiti. I am a finance coach, as Jeff has pointed it out. But I remember a day I sat at a reception somewhere, and there were two magazines. There was a finance magazine and an IT magazine. So the point that I saw those two magazines, I knew I needed to take one of these roads in my life. And the day I picked the finance magazine, I knew I'm going to be a finance professional. So I'm happy to have taken the path. I've had experience in finance, having taken an accounting degree, having completed my accounting qualifications, ACCA. I did my CISA qualification and an MBA later on. So that is me. I know that at the end of the day, I knew I've taken the road that will end up having me seated on this seat talking about finance. So I'm happy to be here, Jeff, and all the viewers. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. And I'm so happy to have you, my friend. Karibu sana. I'm so excited about this. So today we are talking about money. Which is really an interesting subject for so many people, including myself. I'm a student of money.
True.
And so let's introduce this topic. Money talks. What language does it talk?
So Jeff, it's good you asked that question because this points to the relationship each of us has with money. So when you ask the question, what is money? Actually, wait, what really is money? Then you start understanding it's more than just the notes and coins. I think money is all about the value you create around what you do. Our audience
Hey,
today.
let's say that again. Let's say that that's crucial. Money is what?
Money is the value you create around what you do.
Wow.
The value you create around what you do. And that is why a meal at Kempinski is different from a meal in the fish and chips joint in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Both of them are plates of food, but why is one priced differently from the other? And that really explains what money is a value you place on what you do.
That's true. I in fact, coach, Kempinski, plate of githeri with avocado.
There we go.
You're a very interesting name, but the value of that plate.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow. I like that.
That is
Thank
what
you.
money is. That is what money is right there. Okay. The other angle to look at the language money speaks is, can you have enough money really? Can you say I've had enough? Of course, you wonder what can a million shillings do? What can a billion shillings buy? What can 10 million shillings do? You realize that's the other language of money. There's a place it gets and you have to draw the line. You're drawing the line between when is it ever enough? Because it can never be enough. It is one resource, if you're not careful, can drive you to madness. So another aspect about money language is it really is what you define it. You have to draw your line. You have to define what your Kempinski is. You have to define what your githeri of a plate of githeri is. It really is very personal.
Wow.
Then you have to take, absolutely. You have then to take that and fit it in your life. Okay, what where does it sit where your life is concerned? Okay, why is why does it happen that some people go all the way, they sacrifice a lot when they're dealing with money, others live a balanced life? That's another language, Jeff. Okay, and again, it speaks to how does it sit in your wheel of life. And maybe the last thing I can talk about the language of money and why is it so to master money. And there's one reason, it's because the relationship you have with money is oftentimes more important than how much you know.
The
The relationship
relationship.
you have with money,
Uh-huh.
is oftentimes more important than what you know about money.
So it's all about the relationship. So I'm looking like
Exactly.
money is, I can relate with money. Like I can
Yes, in a
date
certain
money.
way. Well, yes.
How?
Quite interesting there.
Remind me of one Swahili song,
Yes,
about relationship with money. Na rafiki
yes.
wangu.
Ni pesa.
Yeah, rafiki pesa. But it looks like most of us, money is an enemy. Is actually a subject we don't want to talk about to some people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you're right, because most of the time that would happen when you let money drive you. You know, there's a formula to things. There is a
Yes.
formula to understanding something. Once you understand it, then you start relating with it differently. And even as we move ahead with this interview, Jeff, I'll be able to just delve a little bit deeper to answer that question. But at the end
Okay.
of the day, how you relate with money, how you view it, really determines the language money speaks to you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. I'm
Mm.
learning. I'm taking notes, guys. Thank you for joining me. Tell me where you're joining us from and what are you getting? What's your relationship with money? How has it been for you? How important is that relationship and how are you cultivating it? Even as we dive deeper into this conversation about money. Thank you, coach, and thank you for sharing. Now, when you talk about money, money talks,
Yeah.
but do you listen?
Wow, that's an interesting one. That's a quite an
Yeah,
interesting one.
yeah.
um, so the way to approach that question, Jeff, is to really take what we call a snapshot. All of us have a very unique snapshot of money. That is to say, where does your money come from? Where does your money go to? How much of it is yours? How much of it belongs to other people? I remember, Jeff, when I was a lot younger, I had an experience that helped me start understanding this question, whether I listen to money. At the time, I was quite engrossed in doing Excel sheets, and I was a bit curious and excited about formulas, etc. So I decided, at the point, I think I was about 25, if I remember well. So I extrapolated my life to 75. So I filled up the Excel sheet and said, 30, 31, 32. I put formulas, it went all the way to 75. I put another line and
Wow.
said, my current income was X. So I listed how do I turn my income to grow? That time I was a dreamer. I mean, I built houses, I bought cars, I did all sorts of things, but on the Excel sheet. So Jeff, when I mapped out my income, my expenditure, what would be left over, where I'm going to invest, it hit me that that really is a point in which I need to listen when the money talks. Because I figured by the time I was 35, probably at that point I'd be married with children and all these sorts of things. I realized suddenly there is something called school fees.
Yes.
At the point I said, hang on, I really need to start thinking about these school fees before it comes in. I looked further and said, my aging parents at the point will be 60 and 70. So there'll be medical bills to deal with. So that journey that I took at the point, Jeff, help me start answering your question. Do we listen? And the listening
Wow.
is about understanding where you're headed. And again,
Yes.
Jeff, even in future, I usually have trainings and other classes that actually show this. We've developed software and various applications to be able to help our listeners and our learners really map it out in a very simple way. Then you start listening to your money. How much am
Mm-hmm.
I saving? How much am I investing? How much am I blowing? And I'll tell you, Jeff, even when listening to money, a very interesting bit that people do is people. There has to be a part of your money
Yeah.
which you blow on yourself, which you use as you will,
And enjoy.
kujipatia asanti.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. I like that.
So the question becomes, what proportion of your income should you blow? And that can be a topic for a whole afternoon. Are you
This
listening
is,
to the money?
yeah.
So for it's a lot to say, Jeff, but maybe that's the angle I can take with that question.
This is
It's opening up,
amazing.
yes, opening up to see clearly where you're headed. Then you
Yeah.
start taking decisive actions with your money.
It's interesting that at 25 you can see 75,
Yes,
you know?
yes, absolutely. Yes,
So you're saying you have a tool that can help someone actually plan their life, not just for the next 3 years, but actually your lifetime, so that
absolutely.
you're not surprised when things happen. You plan for your life. Talk
Spot
about
on, Jeff.
children. Some of us, things just happen to us. We just find ourselves with kids. We find
Yes,
ourselves married.
yeah.
There was no plan. Eh?
Yes, yeah, I understand that. Yes,
So
Jeff.
it's
I,
possible at 25, at 26, at 30 to actually know at 80 the way your life will look like.
absolutely. And with so
Because
much clarity.
wow, amazing. Because you know what, Coach Kennon, we're dealing with not just children, but even parents, people that reach that age, and all you can do is hope that one of your children
Mhm.
will be kind enough to actually remember you gave birth to them.
Wow, I can
Otherwise,
relate to that. Yes.
yeah, otherwise you can actually suffer. But thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes,
75 years from 25, you can see that. That's really brilliant.
absolutely. Yeah.
Now, how loudly does money speak? How loudly?
All right. So very interesting right there. So we've started by checking our relationship with money. We now
Yes.
have an idea about how we want our financial life plan to look like.
Mm-hmm.
But after you've made all this money, Jeff, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we all have various vocations. Some are employed, some are self-employed, some have investments they have somewhere, others are business owners. When all that money comes to you,
Mm-hmm.
how do you utilize it? And for us, there are many tools you can use, but one that I like, a rule of thumb, is called 20-50-30. 20%, 50%, 30%. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
break it down very easily. So for every amount of money you have to spend, and I'm talking about now extra money,
Mm-hmm.
you can take out 30% and put it in a safe place, a place that is not very risky, a place that at least you're guaranteed all the returns, though not a lot, at least you're sure you're not going to lose your money. Then you take
30%.
30%.
Mm-hmm.
Then you take 50%, and that is what you live on. I mean, that's the part where you're a bit cautious. You put it in places which will help you pay your rent, which will
Mm-hmm.
help you fuel your car, probably pay for school fees here and there. That's 50%, and that's the bulk. And there are many, I mean, we can always discuss areas where you can put this.
Yeah.
Now, the one that excites me the most is the remaining bit, the 20%. Remember, 30% has gone into a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
50% has gone into a place where we're going to live from.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a 20% which I call the wealth builder.
Mm-hmm. Wealth builder.
That is a wealth builder. And Jeff, this
Mm-hmm.
is the region where people think. This is where you throw your heart in, you take the risks you need to take, you develop the partnerships you need to develop, because this is the area which you have returns that are out of this world. And they're there, Jeff. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
genuine ways of handling money. By the way, Jeff, I think I'll stop at this point and say all our
Mm-hmm.
coaching approaches is about genuine business. I know there
Yes.
is all sorts of talk going around. We don't go that direction. We also are
Yeah.
clear we don't intend to go corrupt. It's genuine work,
Yes.
and those opportunities are there. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the part which you go out and think about money. Now it starts speaking very loudly. I met a
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine the other day, Jeff, just a young man,
Mm-hmm.
and the young man is in the cake business. He's baking cakes. So he
Mm-hmm.
said, Coach Kennon, can you come and help me put together systems, processes? I said, okay, fine, no problem. I mean, this is a young man I've known for a long time. But
Mm-hmm.
in that journey, I discovered something. This guy has a small oven, which is in his living room.
Yes.
He has an outlet of one shop of selling cakes, and he's trying to bake. The wife is a baker. So the wife bakes, the guy delivers cakes before he goes to work, etc., etc. And they had a very simple, basic setup of cake baking. So I engaged him for more, and I asked him, please dream on. What dream do you have about this? And the
Mm-hmm.
guy opened up. He said, if I got this and I got this and this was in place, and you could see his eyes blow up and his spirit come alive, because he's in the 20% I'm talking about. He's in the
I
region
like
where
that.
he wants to excel.
Yes.
Long story short, today,
Mm-hmm.
even in his mind, after I worked with him,
Mm-hmm.
he's already looking at 5 times the income he's making in the next 3 months.
Nice. Awesome.
You get now that's
Yes.
when the money starts speaking very loudly. Now that's just one of
Mm.
one example, and there are so many in the market today.
Yeah.
Little amount
Yeah.
of money with a lot of potential, Jeff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And someone is maybe perhaps asking, do I have to wait to get a lot of money for me to have this 30, 50, 20? Does it work for anyone and everyone? Like, should I wait until I'm earning a certain amount, or as I begin as a young person, maybe beginning, I can actually adopt to this mindset and grow up with it consistently?
Good question. And the answer to that, Jeff, is this is applicable wherever you are in life, whatever
Hmm.
stage you're at,
Yeah.
no matter how much you're earning, no
Hmm.
matter what your plans are. And to even let me give you an example, Jeff, and our listeners. Have you ever noticed when you have a certain amount of money, you're able to live within the money?
Yes.
Once in a while, you might fuliza, etc., but essentially, you're able to live within your means.
Yes.
Now, if your income increased by, say, 30%,
Hmm.
how come your expenses follow the same pattern?
They're
You'd
also
expect that
increasing.
exactly. You'd expect that you're able to actually contain your expenses and, I mean, have something to save. But the nature of money and human beings is that expenses tend to grow as your incomes grow. So why I bring that example is to say, Jeff, this 20, 50, 30 rule is
Hmm.
applicable anyway, because if you let money do it your way, you'll find you've lost control. You'll find that
Yes.
you've bought things you don't need. You'll find that you are trying to impress people who even don't care.
Or
But if you
like you.
stick, yes, exactly.
Hmm.
But if you stick to this way of doing, then that means if by God's grace you double your income, or you get this big promotion, or you get a bonus, or you get a jackpot, or you inherit something, you have a framework in which you know how to deal with money. And Jeff, this is one of the many, and this is just an example. People again, when we sit with our clients and we understand where they're coming from and where they're headed, we tweak this to suit their particular circumstances. But
Mm-hmm.
largely, Jeff, you can start anywhere. The last thing I want to say
Mm.
about this is, have you heard stories about people who have made fortunes, but after some time it's all gone? I
Yes.
think that is the flip side of the question you're asking. So
Mm-hmm.
you can start at any one point, and if you're not careful, then you can really crumble at any one point in the same way, Jeff.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. Wow. Wow. There's so much. I'm taking my notes here and thinking, as you
yeah,
listen, you want to think about your life and think where you are and
yes,
your relationship with money
yeah,
and how that has impacted your life and people around you. Thank you so much for sharing. Now,
yeah.
we money talks. Money talks. That's what we're talking about. If you're joining us, we're talking about money talks. But is it for me? Is it for me?
um, so Jeff, you know, even as you have listeners listening to this and other people who consider money, sometimes you might feel that talk is useful, but I don't think it's for me at this point. And I'll tell
Mm,
you, I mean, we've dealt with clients and all sorts of questions come up, and you've raised one of them. My earnings are
mm,
too low. What is there
yeah.
to plan for or even save? Others feel I have never liked figures in my life. The thought of figures just gives me a headache.
Yes.
Some would say I'm too old or I'm to change anything. I remember you've given an example about people who get to their 60s and they're relying on their children to help them. So, is there hope
Yes.
for such a person?
Mm, mm,
There's people who say, I actually don't want to disclose my personal finances to anyone. I mean, it's my small secret. Even
yeah.
the people around me shouldn't know. All these are excuses that people have. Some people say, my spouse handles their finances. Why should I bother?
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm bringing these examples, Jeff, is everyone, everyone can take lessons and use them where money is concerned.
Yeah.
Whatever gender, whatever age, whatever socioeconomic status you're in, this is for you. Just like we have a very unique print in our hands. And I always tell my clients at the end of the day, no one plan looks exactly like the other. All of us have separate ones. And
That's
even as
true.
you get all these excuses on the way, all I want to say, Jeff, very clearly is that it is applicable for everyone. And we start from where you are. Because sometimes you might feel I've wasted a lot of time. It's even no use to do it. But the answer is no. You can actually pick yourself up and build a whole treasure chest in the years that you have, Jeff.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Another angle to look at it is um, I know we've talked a lot about personal finances,
mm-hmm.
but it goes further even to the organizations we learn that we run. We talk
Mm-hmm.
about people who are in various industries and various professions, and they can really all can get to use money, Jeff. So yes, it
Yeah.
is applicable for everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I see the way you manage your money, of course, speaks a lot in how you relate to yourself, your vision, your purpose in life, and how you run the organization. Also, money, I believe, plays a key role from what you're saying here.
True,
Um,
true.
so it talks loudly and it talks to all of us.
Absolutely
Money is talking to all of us, but
true. Mm.
does it talk everywhere?
Uh yes, it does, Jeff. Um, Even if you look at how the history has been, I mean, the world has always moved around because of money. Even the days of barter trade and whatever revolution that has come, agrarian revolution, industrial revolution, now the ICT revolution, everywhere you speak, there's something we call the bottom line. At the end of the day, it is quantified in terms of money. And Jeff, even now, as we move on to talk about finance coaching, people have various organizations they are running. Okay.
Yeah.
I always say, you see, when you talk about the SME sector, the small and medium enterprises, you can take the letter S. Those are the small organizations. And for them, money speaks, because the experience we've had is when you walk in to help people with their monies, you start by, first of all, cleaning up their history and bringing them up to speed. You just understand their
I've lost
history.
you.
Go further, we offer services about, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I lost you there. You're
Sorry,
back.
after that, then
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So I was talking about the SMEs, where you start with the small organizations, where you clean up their history, you bring them up to speed, you automate their bookkeeping process, and put together systems, whether ICT systems, to help them. We go ahead and now supervise the accounting team, so that the accounting team is really under our supervision. Then after that, we get the figures on their table to make decisions. So that is a person who has a small startup, a small business. Money speaks to them as well. If you go further to in the SME sector, if you talk about the middle-sized organization, these are people we work to putting together the right policies, the processes, the systems, the people. These are people who already they have something running, but they want it carved in a certain way that it starts speaking to them in a higher fashion. We've also worked with big enterprises. These are people who have established systems and they have various departments. These people have board of directors more often than not. Then we see to these people and we advise matters even at board level. So, Jeff, from the entire spectrum of the personal finances to the small organizations to the middle-sized to the big enterprises, this one speaks to everybody across the board. There's always something to check. There are always figures to look at. There are always analysis. There's always an analysis to make. There's always a comment to make. There's always a market to pursue. There's always a strategy to implement. We can go on and on, Jeff, but for sure, this topic around money talking, every size of happily, Jeff, we've had experience dealing with all these sorts of people and situations that we've actually had a way of adding value in their money space.
Awesome, and thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. This is a huge area where I think some people have chosen to ignore, because there's so many stories of why my money situation is the way it is. And maybe even as we come to a close, maybe talking about the fear, because people have the fear of the 20%. You see that 20% for investment.
Yes.
The one for wealth
the
builder.
making wealth. Yes.
The one for making wealth, the 20%, because the focus is that's how you grow your wealth.
Yes.
Yeah, but we are coming. We are coming at a time when there's a lot of, like we said, corruption out there. People just conning people when it comes to money, and some people have been stopped, or they have stopped themselves from investing because of the fear of losing.
Yeah.
Which, of course, there's no a time where things, you not have bad people, but bad people do not have to make you not do good things, isn't it? How would you advise someone that is actually afraid because of previous experiences with investments that went wrong and stuff like that? That's a different topic about where to invest and how to invest.
No, we can still touch on it, Jeff, because
Uh-huh.
it's a question we get so many times. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we can try just touch on it. And
Yes,
yes, it's
please.
understandable. It's understandable that someone can operate under fear, and it can come from various places, either past experience, like you said, maybe an investment that did not go well, or a place someone was conned of their money. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even that fear comes from our personality. Like you rightly put, the finance coaching space is very wide because there are people who will fear losing even a shilling. So
Yes.
again, the fear can come from so many places. But so Jeff, the advice I can give or the comment I can make on that is there are no guarantees,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
There are no guarantees. I
Mm-hmm.
know in the financial space, there are investments that are considered for sure they're there. Talking about government securities, those are considered risk-free because people argue that
Yeah,
whatever
there's no
happens, a
risk.
government cannot fail. Yeah, but
Yes.
again, that has been questioned in the past. We've seen countries like Greece actually default on their bonds. So we're in a different space, but there are no guarantees. What there is, Jeff, is there are different
Mm-hmm.
asset classes. There are
Mm-hmm.
different routes to invest.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to understand your own risk profile. How do you perceive risk? How do you interpret loss? What you're careful about is we don't necessarily force our clients who are risk averse or don't want to take risk to necessarily go all the way and take risk. We just show them slowly that you can actually manage the risk. So it's about
Mm-hmm.
managing the risk. I know there is a whole other sphere of conmen and corrupt people. Those are there, Jeff. These are the wolves out in the park. Yeah.
Yes.
So there we advise people to just be cautious. I read a quote somewhere and someone was saying that this capitalist way of working, capitalist is where we all go to make money. There are
Yes.
two key emotions that work there.
Mm-hmm.
One is fear, the other one is greed.
Yeah.
So the advice is you need to manage those two because again,
Mm.
if you're too gullible, then you can easily fall into a trap.
That's true.
There is no shortcut. You can take the faster lane, but there are no shortcuts. You have to put in the
Mm-hmm.
work. So the
Yeah.
advice is they are all solutions that will speak to your various to the people's various fear situations.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we have to do what you call due diligence. I mean, take your time and understand what you're getting yourself into. Talk to a
Wow.
trusted financial partner.
Yeah.
Be open to be guided. Be open to getting advice. Some people say, no, I don't want to spend any money on any financial advice. And for sure, then you might end up paying a bigger price. And the
That's
monies you're
true.
talking about are not a lot.
Mm.
So Jeff, that would
Mm.
be advice. Just people to consult, manage your risk profile. Don't fall into the greed trap. All these
Mm-hmm.
are things that we usually take our clients through slowly by slowly, and they shake off their fear and they
Mm-hmm.
actually become bold. Again, we talk about working with small wins. Just have a small amount of money that you can play around with. See a
Mm-hmm.
small level of success, then move to the next and the next. Shortly, you're even shocking yourself at what you're able to do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I love it.
Mm.
I love it. Now, let's talk about you said, I heard you say you have a tool that you can give someone to actually see how their patterns are in terms of, the 20%, 50%, 30%.
Yes.
Will will you be giving out that tool at some point in the training?
Yes. So Jeff, yes, that will be available.
Because I,
Maybe
I
I
think
can.
that's a brilliant tool.
Yes, maybe I can take the
Yeah.
opportunity to just expand it a little bit because
Yes, please.
what next from here? So
Mm-hmm.
we usually organize sessions where we actually dive in deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when you come in for these sessions, we give you the tool. We not only give you the tool, we take you through how it works.
Mm-hmm.
We we change the assumptions, we change the inputs, we personalize it for you, so that in this training, Jeff, by the time you're leaving, you're so confident, you not be caught out with something that hit you and you're not aware. Because in the same tool, we build in what we call contingencies,
Yes.
scenarios. We try
Yes.
to anticipate emergencies. So it is a brilliant tool that we give during our training, Jeff. And by the time you leave, you even call it your name. It has your tone, it has your color, it has your ring. It really speaks
Mm,
to you as a person. What's
nice.
more, we then support. You can always go ahead and change it as your circumstances are changing. Very simple tool to use. And by the way, you don't need to be a finance expert. You don't need to understand debit credit. You don't need to understand many things. It's just a very simple interactive tool that speaks everybody's day-to-day language.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
Mm.
Awesome. Well put. I'm looking forward to that event,
Great.
Coach.
Yes.
And when is it? Can we share the dates today? Perhaps
Yes,
someone can register
absolutely.
right away. There's a link down there, guys. If you're online, those that are online, and I want you to go right now to the link and fill in your, just secure your slot, because we have limited slots. You know, this events, you want to be able to manage the numbers, so don't be locked out. Go right now and make sure you secure your slot. This is happening when, Coach?
Yeah, yeah. So we have singled out the 19th of
19th,
October.
that's next, yes,
That's
19th October.
in the next 1 week.
Uh-huh.
So we'll be starting off at 7:30 p.m.
7:30.
We want to allow people to actually have settled in the evening, and we'll take it all the way to 9:30 because we want to provide sufficient time for us to delve in and understand what this tool is all about as a
Mm-hmm.
first step towards people taking control of their finances. So 19th of October from 7:30 p.m.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's about 2 hours.
Yeah, roughly 2 hours, give or take. Usually, when you go in, Jeff, to give clients
Mm-hmm.
our solutions, yes, of course, we have to be orderly in terms of how long it takes. But
Yes,
our interest is to make sure we provide sufficient time. We delve in
awesome,
deeper, even if it need to spend a little bit more time, just to make sure our clients get what they actually came for. But for
awesome,
purposes of
awesome.
planning, 2 hours, yes.
Brilliant. Now,
Yeah.
guys, if you're online, do you have any questions to Coach Kennon? Any money question? Money speaks. We want to hear you speak now after money has spoken to you. What questions do you
Absolutely.
have? What questions do you have about money that we can ask? Kindly type it on the on this video below, so we can get to help you. We'll be coming back, and I'm looking forward to see you on the event next week on, is it on
It's on Tuesday.
Thursday? Next week on Tuesday,
Tuesday,
19th.
19th.
Next week on
Yes,
Tuesday. Make sure you book your slot so we don't, you don't, there's an offer that you don't want to miss. So this is a lifetime opportunity. Thank you, Coach.
absolutely.
Any parting words that you can, maybe whatever you want to say as a parting shot?
Yeah. So first, of course, Jeff, is to again thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you and to the audience. That really appreciate. We take it very seriously when we are advising people about their finances and money. Because there are many pitfalls, there are many angles, there are many nooks to it, and we are happy when you have an opportunity to do it, and also to encourage you and to encourage everybody who's viewing this. Do not let fear hold you back. Do
Yeah.
not let any excuses hold you back. We are talking about zero limits.
Yes.
Jeff. So
Yes.
those go beyond, even go to touch on your finances. And also remember again, sometimes by not taking action, then life happens on you. It will still catch up with you anyway. So
Yes.
we say, take the initiative. We are here to help you out. We are here to give you solutions. We are passionate. We have the experience we need. We have the resilience we need. And we believe in standing with you as your preferred partner as you take the money journey, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Mm.
Thank you so much. Someone is saying the link is not working. I'm not sure which link is that, but thank you so much for if you've been trying to join us perhaps and the link wasn't working. We also put this video out there for you so you can follow through the conversation today. Otherwise, thank you so much. We are making the decision now, and the decision that shapes tomorrow is actually made today. And you're looking at the journey, that the conversation we had today, that you're able to look at your life and really avoid the pain of regret. Because in life there are pains that you don't want to go through, and one of it is the pain of regret. I sort of prefer the pain of discipline than regret. I'm not sure about you, but I prefer that. I prefer the pain of discipline because it has rewards. It actually pays back, and it's a decision. You cannot not have one of those pains. If you refuse the pain of discipline, regret will be waiting for you. It's a choice. It's one or the other. And so I'm looking forward to having this journey, going through this journey with you, Coach. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the offer, guys. I'm looking forward to have you join. Make sure you click the link, or you're saying the link for for the calendar is not working. We will fix that right away. Don't worry. We'll fix that. Thank you, Akot. Thank you. Thank you so much. So God bless you. Good night. We will work on the link so you can join immediately. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.